Best Picture. Thank you so much for chatting with me today about your role in Adolescence. I appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to chat to you.
Absolutely. Well, we have to start with congratulations for your Emmy nomination, of course. So well deserved, along with all 13 nominations for Adolescence. Pretty remarkable.
I'm so delighted for everyone. 13 nominations for cast and crew. It's so wonderful. It's such an honor.
What was your experience of finding out about the nominations?
Um, I was abroad actually. I'd not long landed and got into the hotel when my agent and publicist rang me. So I was so surprised. I was shocked. I was totally shocked. I'd never expected. I was like, I never expected to, like, me lifetime to be nominated for an Emmy. So I feel very honored, but I just felt so delighted when I was told that there was 13 nominations, and for Matt, for Jess Wardrobe, for Steve, for Jack, for everyone, for Erin, it was just phenomenal. Owen, yeah, yeah, what an honor. Yeah.
So well deserved. Congratulations again. Well, I was looking back over your career and found it interesting that you starred in your first TV movie at 15 years old, much like Owen
I was
Cooper in Adolescence.
I was
Did
14 actually.
14.
Out there that I was 15, but I just turned 14, yeah.
Wow. Well, did having such a similar experience to Owen at the beginning of your career make you feel more connected to him or protective of it when it came to Adolescence?
Yeah, I mean, I started when I mean, 34 years ago, so things are quite different then. But I was very well looked after on the Leaving of Liverpool, and we shot it in Australia, and it was quite a controversial. Well, it was a very controversial drama, true drama. Um, but I was very well looked after by who I was surrounded by the team. I learned how to conduct myself on the floor. I learned so much at such a young age by the brilliant and wonderful people I was surrounded by on that TV series. And so with Erin, without a doubt, it did make me think, wow, it's similar, but 3 decades later, yeah, it did make me think about Erin. And what's so lovely is that he's got such brilliant parents, and we brilliant relationship with Steve and Phil, and we've all got his back, and Amelie's as well, because this was their first professional time in front of the camera. And you would never have think they'd never been on a professional set before. I mean, the both of them were just so phenomenal, and just like really relaxed on the set. And I mean, I was actually so in awe of both of them. I
They're
know.
remarkable. Well, looking back on the leaving of Liverpool, all these years later, are there still things that you learned on that set that still affect the way you step into roles today?
Yes. Yeah, I still work. So, I mean, it's 34 years. Um, so when I was cast in the Leaving of Liverpool, I was at a pound a week drama group, and we just do improvisations, the Chiltern Stage School. And casting agents came over. So I got cast in the Leaving of Liverpool with my co-star Kevin, who'd also never acted professionally before. So what the director did, the late Michael Jenkins of the Leaving of Liverpool, he brought in a brilliant acting coach. She didn't teach us how to act, but she taught us how to prep, how to do our preparation for the script, taught us how important it was to know our lines, to do our research, which we did. Um, and also because, I mean, Adolescence was different because we're shooting in one take, which was just an absolute gift and joy, a wonderful way to work. But because sometimes when you're in normal film, you jump in between days and scenes, and you can shoot the end first, is to do your prep, to know where you've been before. And I still work that way now. I still work the exact same way I was taught in terms of preparation. And I love my job, but I love doing the preparation before you get on a set. So yeah, I still work that way. And also, how to conduct yourself on a set as well. And it's being kind, isn't it? We're all there to collaborate. And I learned really young that, the camera's your best friend, along with the director, and that it is a collaboration. Most importantly, that it's a collaboration. We all work together. We couldn't do what we're doing without the boom, without the runner. It's a team effort, and that's always stayed with me. Yeah.
Well, I definitely want to dive into Adolescence because obviously the prep must have been a little bit different at least. At what point in the process of coming onto the show did you learn about the one take nature of these episodes? Was that right away or was that a little bit in the
I went
process?
I was so I mean, I was terrified, but so excited at the thought of working that way. Because I'd never worked that way before, like shooting a whole episode in one take. It's like, wow. Um, so when Stephen rang me and offered me the role and said, I'm going to send you the scripts and spoke to me about it, he said, we're going to do it in one take. But I'd seen, and I loved it, I'd seen Boiling Point, that Phil and Shay and Hannah had made, and I thought it was brilliant. I loved the way it carried the audience. And I was terrified, but I was so excited. And also so excited about working with Stephen as well. What an honor. Like it was a dream come true for me to work with Steve because we've known each other like since we were babies, like we've been friends for so long and friends with Hannah as well for years and Phil Barantini, the director. So I was terrified though. Like your nerves that go before, like when you hear set, you say set and then action, but then you're off. And it just gives you so much freedom as an actor working that way. I loved every day on that set. I mean, it was heartbreaking, obviously, the storyline but as a performer, it was an absolute joy. What a brilliant way to work with brilliant people.
I've heard you describe Adolescence as having this unique synchronicity between the cast and crew, which I mean is totally understandable. How did this experience draw you closer to the crew than in other projects you've been a part of?
I think, I've been so blessed to work with on some amazing projects. The always brilliant crew, cast. This felt different. I've never experienced anything like it. It was, there was like a zen to it. It was like there was so much love on that floor. We were all in it together, and it was like like two in a dance. It was like this beautiful collaboration and this synchronicity between cast and crew. Like we just all worked together. I've never Adolescence will stay with me for so many reasons. Like I learned so much as well. I learned so much working that way and learning from everyone else. But it was that feeling I'd never felt that before. It's hard to articulate it, but there was just this beautiful synchronicity between cast and crew. And I think, it's that level of love that was on the floor, and like everyone really wanted to be there and was, excited to be there and cared. There was so much love that went into making it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
What a
curious
way
with
to work, you know?
Well, I'm curious with the yeah, obviously unique process of shooting. I'm sure that the choreography had to be very precise and very intense. With each take, were you still able to feel your performance evolving or changing, or did it have to be so precise that you were delivering it the same way every time?
No, it was different every time. That that
Mm.
was that was like I think the freedom that you're given with working with the team, the talented team, and working on Stephen's creation and these amazing scripts that him and Jack had wrote. It's like those two are just such a beautiful marriage of their gifts, That the writing was just wonderful. But within that, you got to dig into the script. You had the pleasure and the luxury of having, you know, eh, the creator and writer on the floor, Stephen and Jack Thorne. So it's about making it as real as possible. And so we had that time to dig into the scripts and play with it, which is freeing in itself because it's about what is truthful. Phil Barantini, amazing director, beautiful human, guiding us. So it was more free, and I think working that way. With all that said, when you're filming in one take, there's a freedom to it, and also you're more present as an actor because you're staying in the moment. But it changes every time. things have changed. Maybe the way a line's delivered might be delivered in a different way, or a little ad lib might be thrown in, by say, and then how I react to that. It's a wonderful way to work, but each episode that we shot felt different.
Mm, that's amazing.
'Cause it's like doing a play. It's like doing a
Yeah.
play on camera, but so it's like performing a play, so you go on that journey, but with the naturalism of the camera.
Yeah, I spoke with Phil and he was talking about how he gives as much direction as he can and works with you so closely and then lets it go. Is there I want to know what it's like working with Phil and if there was a particular piece of direction that maybe helped you unlock this character in any way.
Phil is just I mean, I'd love to work with Phil on every job. Phil is just such a brilliant director, and what he does is he will just he let I think because he's an actor as well, so he knows it, and he will just he let you breathe. He listens, he'll say, "What do you think?" But he will just give you the littlest notes, and it'll be like, "Wow, okay." He's like, "What about if you try that?" But he's not a director who overloads you. And I always think that the director the director is like the boss who, he's my boss on the floor, and he helps dictate the atmosphere on that set. And Phil just, the respect he gives to everyone, and he is, he's a collaborator, but he's such a special director by just giving you the littlest notes where you can go, "That can just, like, send a scene that way." He gives you so much freedom as an actor as well.
Eh, it's
And he's
incredible.
a brilliant actor himself, by the
Yeah,
way. Have you seen his weird movie?
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking about the process of shooting the series and how challenging it must have been and freeing. You never know how a project is gonna turn out, it could be terrible or it could be incredible, but nobody sees it. When did you start to realize that not only was Adolescence good, but that it was exploding in the way that it was? Everybody around the world was watching this.
When it got released. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was just everywhere. I've never. Do you know what was so lovely as well? Because I live in Liverpool, and I go to the local train station, the main train station here quite a bit. And I had a moment. It was the first couple of days after it being released, and I was walking through the train station, and a couple of the older gentlemen who work there stopped me.
Yes.
And these are gentlemen who were like, I'd say they were like three gentlemen, 50s, 60s, and they were like, "Can we just say, can you pass on to Stephen? Like, it was brilliant, like, well done." And I was like, this has never happened. Like, I was getting stopped a lot, and I was getting a lot of phone calls, and I'd never experienced anything like it at all. And that was so lovely. That was so lovely. There was people literally thanking me in the street, going, thank you, and can you pass on thanks to everyone involved, And also friends calling me crying, and saying, what one of my friends, her and her husband watched it before they watched it with their son, and then they watched it with their son. So what it opens up, the conversations it opens up, to me, it's such an honor to be a part of. I feel really proud to be a part of it
Mm.
because it's so important, isn't it?
Yeah, it's rare to find a show that's, as important, as it is great, both at the same time.
Drama. Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's drama,
yeah,
and it's just, you know, it's that thing of going, wow, the power of drama, that can
yeah.
open so many important conversations.
Well, I can't wait for people to continue, if they haven't seen it already, to continue discovering it. Christine, best of luck as the Emmys get closer. Thank you so much for your conversation today. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. It was lovely talking to you.